kids podcast.
You can go slow.
A kids podcast about. A kid's book about war. A little book about justice. A kid's class about mental health. A kid's mindful moment. A kid's podcast about emotions. There is so much to explore at akidsco.com. Check it out! Visit akidsco.com.
This is It's Okay to Ask, a kids' advice podcast. I'm your host, Nina Purewal. We know that you confront really big questions all the time about what you should do, how to respond to certain people, what to even say at certain times. Asking for advice from friends, people in your class is a great way to help inform your own decision-making choices. And it's okay to ask. That's why we're making this show. We want to provide a very safe space for you to ask any kind of question and also get some advice. But sometimes you've got to ask a few people for advice before you're ready to know just what to do. And that's why we've created an entirely different kind of podcast, a dynamically created podcast. This means that no two listens are the same. You can listen to the episode, then delete it and download it again for a totally new outcome. Just like asking a second or third person for advice. How awesome is that? Today's question comes from Aria. Aria asks, what happens when your teacher puts you in groups, but then you're the only one talking and participating? How do you motivate your other group members? Wow, Aria, that is a fantastic question, and I'm really curious to hear what you all have to say about it. What do you think? Have you ever been put into a group where you're the only one talking and participating? How have you gotten other kids to help join you and motivate them? What have you done? Let's hear some advice.
My name's Bianca. I'm 7 years old. I live in Ontario, Canada. You can say to them, you're doing a great job. Let's go. You can do this.
Often when you give advice, it comes from a place of experience, which means that you've been through it before and you've learned from that experience. And that sometimes helps us to figure out how to respond when new situations come our way, or when friends are asking us for some advice about their experiences. Let's listen to a similar experience from one of your peers. I wonder what they have to say about Aria's question around being put in a group and being the only one who is participating and talking. How have these other kids helped motivate the people in their group to participate as well?
Hi, my name is Sila. I'm 9 years old, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia. Just earlier this week, when the PBL teacher put us in small groups, which are normally like 3 or 4 people, to do a online Teams project, me and someone else were answering and giving ideas and trying to get it moving so we could turn it in on time. And there was just this one person who just wasn't really paying attention and just listening and then writing down whatever we said. And it made me kind of frustrated because they weren't participating, and it felt like me and my friend were doing all of the work. So what I did was I asked the other person that wasn't really participating to maybe answer this question. Do you know what the answer is to this question? And then she answered, and it was actually a really good answer. And then from that, she started smiling and then started actually participating. And it made me and my friend feel really good. And I bet it made her feel good too, to feel like she was included. So that was one time that I encouraged someone in our group.
I hope it's comforting for you to know that we all go through these experiences, even grown-ups. I bet if you ask a grown-up near you if they've ever been in a group where they're the only one working or participating, they've surely experienced that, because this happens at work too. We're always working as adults with other people, and oftentimes we have to motivate them. So I guarantee you, if you ask an adult, they've experienced this before. But that doesn't make it any easier for you to go through it necessarily. But it can serve as reassurance that you're not going through this alone. And even though it might be hard, I promise that you're going to be okay when you come out the other side. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we're looking for your advice. Seriously, stick around, my friend.
Hey, it's me, Matthew. We have 10 unique shows on our podcast network, from shows about emotions to activism and advice to empowerment. And we are always growing. Do you have an idea you think would make a great podcast for kids ages 5 and up? Pitch your idea at listen@akidsco.com, and it might lead to our next great podcast. Our podcast family is always growing, and we'd love to invite some new voices to the table.
Welcome back to It's Okay to Ask, a kids' advice podcast. Before the break, we heard advice based on a question sent in by Aria. Her question was, what happens when your teacher puts you in a group, but you're the only one talking and participating? How do you motivate other members in your group? Now it's our turn to come to you. Each of your peers brought a question, and you'll hear from one of them in just a moment. After you do, it's your opportunity to share some advice with us on what you have done in this situation, or if you have any thoughts. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Leo, and I want to ask you a question, listeners. And my question for you is that, what do you do when you're in a group that your teacher puts you in, but you're the only one who's working?
Remember, it's okay to ask for advice on whatever you have going on in your life and in your world. You are not alone. I promise you that. Until next time, I'm Nina. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Aria, for your wonderful question around what to do when you're put in a group and you're the only one talking or participating. How do you motivate others? And to all of our peers for your fantastic advice. If there's a question you'd like to ask, or if you have any advice to share on this question or any of the questions from this podcast, you can reach us at listen@akidspodcastabout.com. It's Okay to Ask is written by me, Nina Purewal. You can learn more about me and my work at ninapurewal.com. Our show is edited and produced by Matthew Winner with help from Chad Michael Snavely and the team at Sound On Studios. Our executive producer is Jelani Memory, and the show was brought to you by A Kids Podcast About. Follow the show on Apple Podcasts or wherever podcasts are found. and check out other incredible podcasts made for kids just like you by visiting akidsco.com.
Thank you so much for listening to this show. Now let's help it grow. We'd love to hear what you think, and your feedback will help this show reach more listeners. Rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts.